Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Brown Heart Wellness Podcast. I'm Samantha Edu, and this is where we practice bravery, rest, and self leadership through doing one brave thing at a time. Today, we're talking about living renewably. If you've been running on fumes or trying to optimize your way out of burnout, this one is for you. And author and coach Kaylee Fields Williams is here to help us choose one brave thing that gives you energy back this week. Now, y'all know we're going to start with an affirmation. Our affirmation is I return my energy to myself. I choose one brave thing that renews me today. I return my energy to myself. All right, y'all. Kaylee, welcome to Brown Heart Wellness Podcast.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Yes, 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 yes. We can all pretend like we didn't just record this last week and forget to press
We're going to
record.
pretend that we're going to look the other way and pretend that ever happened. It never happened. What are we
It
talking about?
never it never happened. All right. Your book, Renewable You, reframes burnout as extraction, not a personal failure. And I feel that in my bones. It can often feel like a personal failure. I'm so glad you're here. Of course, Kaylee and I have worked together. We've known each other for a while, and I have been really blessed to be able to see your journey to founding the Earthy Executive. Well, you founded the Earthy Executive a long time ago. Apparently, I read in the book. But breathing new life into the Earthy Executive, which is a regenerative leadership and lifestyle brand, helping ambitious professionals renew their energy and impact while caring for the planet. And Kaylee is a former mental health tech leader and board certified coach. She blends her background in psychotherapy, mindfulness, and love for sustainable design to guide high performing individuals toward purposeful, climate conscious leadership. She's also the forthcoming author of Renewable You, a clear eyed guide to reclaiming your energy, purpose, and direction. Hey, girl.
Hey, that was so good. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. So let's set the table for our listeners. We're going to move through the five beats that map to your work. So reclaiming, ease, attune, lead, and reframe. And then, of course, we're going to end with one brave thing, that you have been doing and one brave thing that folks can try in the next 24 hours or over the next week.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yes. All right, Kaylee. So, for the people that are new to you, what moment nudged you to write Renewable You, and who did you have in mind as you wrote it?
Yeah, so I'll share this story. I had been you mentioned that we've known each other for a while. We have had the pleasure of working in mental health tech and for the I've worked there for the past 6 years, and just this past November my role was eliminated in a major riff at the company. That what happened, all of the typical emotions that typically happen when you lose your job, sadness, for the community that you're leaving, or maybe a little anger, a little embarrassment, all the emotions certainly happen. But the one that was the strongest that I didn't really count on that happened pretty immediately was relief. And I just, for probably the next few months after that, just was in a state of I didn't wanna do anything. I didn't wanna talk to anybody. I had to, of course, think about my next moves, and up to that point, I had been like, my work is in mental health and is in care, and I have 4 kids, and at that point, I was like, "I don't wanna care for anybody.
Right.
I don't care about anybody right now. I just wanna be." Right?
Yep.
And it wasn't until I was talking to a girlfriend of mine and she mentioned the word burnout. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not burnt out. Like, it's not that. I'm just, I don't know, like trying to figure out the next move. I'm just anything but that word.
Right.
I actually realized I had so many hangups about the word, about what it meant, and as weakness, or I was handling my things. I was I was working, I was, getting up and, doing the things, but it wasn't until she really kind of shook me and was like, "You are burnt out, and here are
Right.
the reasons why I'm saying that you are." And so once I admitted to myself that that was true, you know, that even though I had worked with folks in the past on burnout, even though
Mhm.
burnout was an issue that we've worked with, at Headspace for the coaches there, I had to sort of turn the mirror on myself and
Yep.
look at, okay, I worked with these folks. What are the things that I did with them to help them through their burnout? And
Right.
specifically, what are the things that I did with those clients, those members who were thrived afterwards and who were able to sort of sustain that like sense of renewal.
Right.
And so I decided to use myself as a guinea pig and apply those tools and, and exercises to kind of dig myself out of that state.
And lo and behold, it
Lo and
worked.
behold, and lo and behold, it's crazy how that happens, right? It's crazy, like
Right.
all the things we tell our kids, we tell everybody else all the things they should do and are confident
Yes.
they work and they do work on them, but then, you know,
Uh-huh.
we
Yep.
don't
We don't
until
do it. We don't do it until we have to. And you're like, okay, you know what? I actually have a toolbox.
right, right. I have a toolbox, and not only that, but the toolbox that I had, it was crazy because it works pretty quickly. Like, it's not one of those things that takes
Yes.
months and months and months before you see results, at all. It's
Mhm.
not like this deep, 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 deep excavation and peeling off of layers of onion where
Yeah.
before you see any sort of spoils of the fruit, is that it? The spoils of the fruit?
Spoils of war, fruits of labor.
I'm terrible at those. I be
Just
trying
don't
though.
do that again.
Okay, I try.
You try so hard. I think I believe it. The spoils of your fruit.
Spoiled fruit. I don't know. It sounded kind
See where you were going. I see what you were trying to do there, though. Oh my gosh.
of
Um, I wanted to. I love how you frame burnout as extraction, not weakness. Can you share more about the extraction?
Yeah, so, the weakness part of it, as I shared, which I didn't really think about the fact that people think of burnout as a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Even as I was helping people through burnout, I don't think that was ever, like, stated that I'm not weak, or I
Mm,
actually don't think it was ever explicitly stated. So but when I realized that I had my own hang-ups about it, I realized that, oh, I need to maybe use a different word for this.
right.
But really, the inner extraction piece came from my, looking at what we like human sustainability in parallel with ecological sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain a little bit about how I got to that point. So, as I was going through my own sort of journey of revitalizing my central nervous system, I also was on a little bit of an unintended journey of, I guess, reinvention and of shopping. I've never been into shopping or fashion at all, but I think, as an attempt to kind of soothe,
Mm,
my wounds and kind of self take care of myself or whatever and feel good and beautiful, I started frequenting a lot of, thrift
yep.
stores around and just spending a lot of time going through clothes and touching fabrics and trying on things and seeing what would look nice on me. During that same time, just became acquainted with the destruction
Mm,
environmentally that's being done by the fashion industry, the destruction on the environment. And
yeah.
so, I just started thinking about that and started seeing, oh my gosh, like we do all of these things to deplete our natural resources on Earth, but we also do all these things to deplete our inner resources
Mhm.
as a person and as a human.
Yes.
And so I just started looking at the parallels and thought there's definitely a crisis of twin depletion, so the earth and human sustainability. And there's this inner extraction that we do as humans
Right.
that depletes our creativity, that depletes our
Yes.
energy, that, wrecks our sort of natural intuitive ability, that, destroys our emotional resilience. And it's all
Mhm.
done in the pursuit of perfection, in the pursuit
Right.
of performance, in the pursuit of external validation, the really in the act of not realizing that as we work, as we, behave, as we live, basically, we also need to put into that life
Yes.
cycle things that renew us,
Renew us.
right?
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
the earth, like we have renewable sources of sun, of water, of wind. And if we destroy them, which we can see, they're going to deplete.
Right. Yes.
Similarly, if we destroy our own energy without renewing it, we will be depleted.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
just thought there must be a better way. So there's a better way for us to not look at ourselves as kind of a bottomless pit where we can drive and drive and drive and drive until we're empty, but we can
Mhm.
see ourselves as as being renewable and doing those things that keep us going, that really
Right.
keep us going. So yeah, that was kind of the impetus of the book and
Mhm.
work, that I put together.
Yeah, always appreciate this, like this, how I relate to this, because I think about not only do we deplete ourselves, right? We use artificial, these artificial ways of renewing ourselves, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I think we might have talked about this the last time, is using these artificial ways of renewing ourselves that just aren't real. Like, even if for sometimes it's doom scrolling, right? Or caffeine
Yeah.
or all the things, right? And they're not the things that our nervous system is begging us for that
Right.
would actually renew us. And so it's like, what do we need to set up in order for us to reclaim that energy and actually renew ourselves for real?
Right. Right. Yeah, those things that you mentioned, they're like the treats, they're like, what is who is it? Is it Elmo that talks about cookies as a sometimes food, right? Those are like the sometimes food, they're not something that we need to have to nourish us, right?
Yes.
The things that we need to have to nourish us, the things that I've found by looking at past clients and by implementing them on myself, they're they're really quite simple. It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
we know we need to eat our fruits and vegetables and drink water and exercise, right? But we
Yes.
don't do it. So
Yep.
the beauty of this framework is that it really is not complicated. It can be hard, of course, to do the things that we need to do and that we
Mm-hmm.
should do. But I love the idea of sort of taking it back to basics and
Yes.
providing a framework that, wasn't rigid, that was the flexible and how exactly, and actually how you implement it, but really
Yeah.
provided a basis of, okay, these are the 5 things that we know to be true, that we know renew us. And if we do them, bit by bit, we don't need to take drastic measures,
Right.
heroic measures, then, we'll be all right.
Right, right. And being okay with like asking each other those things. Whenever maybe a friend calls me and I'm checking on somebody, I always ask, have you eaten? Have you drank water? Like, when's the last time you had some water? Did you eat a meal, like a whole meal?
Yes.
And are you sleeping? Like, those are the things that I'm always going to ask every
Yes.
time. Those
Yeah.
are the basic needs. It's nothing complicated, like, nothing emotionally complicated.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
it. Did you drink
That's
some
it.
water?
It's so true. but it's so, like, sometimes they're so hard. I know when my husband and I first got married, he would, we'd get together after we finished work, and he'd be like, and I'd be like, "My head, like, I have such a headache." And he's like, "Have you eaten anything?" And I'm like, "No, I forgot." And he could never understand. I was one of these people that literally could forget to eat. Like, I just ate just to sustain. Like, I did not.
Yes.
He's the opposite. He's like thinking of dinner in the morning at breakfast, which is weird. I'm like, "I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner." But he just thought it was the most bizarre thing, and
Mhm.
it had to be the you in this situation, like, where he had to ask me, like, and remind me,
Yes.
"You need to
Mhm.
eat. That's why you have a headache." Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. One of the things you talk about is ease. And I love talking about ease because, one, I think there's this romanticizing the soft life that we see
Mm,
on the socials and things like that. And of course, self care has always been a complex conversation,
yeah,
that can be talked about. But you call rest strategic stillness.
yes, yes.
And I want to talk more about what does strategic stillness look like in a high pressure environment, right? And how do you protect that? Like when life starts getting real loud.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so strategics, first of all, you're absolutely right that it's complicated for a lot of us, this notion of ease and rest.
Mhm.
For a lot of us, we look at that as a prize to be won at the end of the
Right.
day or at the end of the year, something that we have to have deserved,
Right.
which for me, I like the idea of looking at stillness strategically because I tend to be a little competitive and have a sort of self-competitive really more
Yeah.
than anything. And so if I have a notion that if I do something, this will give me an edge, then I'm on. Then I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it. Like, if this will give me an edge." And the fact of the matter is, having ease in your life will absolutely 100% give you an edge in everything, whether
Yeah.
it's at work, whether it's, in relationships, whether it's in having compassion for yourself. So
Yes.
taking the moment, taking a still is something that is not a prize to be won, but is necessary.
Yeah.
In high pressure environments or in high stress environments, what I've found is that a lot of folks who are operating at super high levels, when I work with like execs, they know this. I mean, that's the secret. Like the folks that are working at
Mhm.
the levels, they know this. It's a
Right.
lot of us who are, maybe in the middle somewhere and we're striving that and maybe we've operated for so long in that sort of striving mentality that we need to learn a bit more,
Yep.
that this is this is a strategy. This isn't a nice to have. So,
Right.
so
Right.
I think the awareness, often is a switch for folks when I share,
Mm.
and when I share that, your your executive leader. Yeah, I mean, there are some that certainly drive until they're in the ground and
Right.
they don't they don't survive usually, or they're definitely burnout. But there are a good number of them who I don't wanna say they're not working as hard as you think they are. They
But
are,
they're not,
you know?
or they've found some sort of not balance, but flow.
They found a flow, they found the hours, they usually drive hard, within a certain amount of hours.
Right.
And I can remember actually there is an executive that I had spoken with. Goodness, this must have been like 5 years ago or so, who was sharing her just how she gets through her week. And I remember her saying, "I don't work on the weekends." Like she
Mhm.
didn't work on the week. And at that time, I was working. I mean,
Yes. I
70.
remember.
You remember that?
I was
But
like, "What are you doing?"
right. And that has stuck in my head, like, "You don't work on," and she's like, "No, and neither," and she mentioned the sea, and neither does it, and I'm like, "How do you guys not work?" And that
Mhm.
is lodged in my head, and from there, I think about,
Yeah.
there is another way. And again, as I've been having
Yes.
conversations with folks at different levels, that is not abnormal. That is not abnormal at all. So,
No, no. And like setting boundaries around your stillness and your time, all of that, your engagement, your how accessible you are.
yeah, how accessible you are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that
Yes.
really does impact your survival. Like,
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with somebody in a C-suite, and they were telling me, I do not schedule more than 6 meetings a day. And that is
Mm,
top of the like, that is it. Anything over that's coming off the calendar for that
yeah.
day. And at
Yeah.
the time, I was doing back to back, meetings all day and then still trying to do admin. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, if you don't,
I'm
why
right.
am I? What am I doing?
I'm not doing something right. It's so
And
true. Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I immediately did a calendar cleanse because I needed to like why wasn't I renewing my energy in this way? Why wasn't I even aware that I could do that?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mm.
nothing happened when I did it.
Right.
Nothing's changed out and when I started like, "Hey, can we do it on this day?" When I started actually intentionally or strategically managing my calendar.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so many of us fall into the trap of thinking of our energy as time, as thinking of it
Mm,
as and not thinking of it as something that is replenishable and not considering it when, like, for example, the meetings that you were talking about. We think of it as, okay, I have this many hours and I can fit in this many meetings in that hour.
yes.
Let me do that because I have this time to do that
Yes.
for is this particular meeting with this particular person is
Yes.
a burnout.
That's like 3 hours.
That's like 3 hours.
This 30 minutes equals 3 hours.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't think about
That's
that. We
such a
don't
great
think about that.
point.
So, and in the reverse, we don't think about, I'm feeling a little bit low on energy.
Mhm.
It could take me, you know, 5 minutes to replenish that. We think it's gonna take me I need to take a vacation to Bali. I need to do all the
Yes.
thing I we think we need to put in so much effort to replenish when actually it's not a time thing when it comes to our energy. It really is just I mean, you could go, if you could go outside and stand in the sun and just
Mhm.
be still,
Yes.
going back to the ease thing,
Yep.
in between a meeting, and it's amazing how much even that will do
Yes.
to sort of give you
Yes.
the energy that you need to keep going.
Right. And what I'm hearing you say is doing things that are one, you're doing them consistently as
Yeah.
a part of your
Yes.
lifestyle
That's it.
rather
Yeah.
than waiting
Yes.
for this, I don't know, this moment, this ambiguous moment of time to renew yourself where
Yes.
you're so burned out, you're literally crawling out the mud into vacation.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's what we do. We wait till vacation. We're like, "I'm just gonna grind and grind and grind," and I have, you know, 2 weeks that I took off on the calendar in a month, so I'll just keep going until I get and then what happens
Yeah.
when you get to vacation?
Yeah, and then you're tired, you can't even unwind. You're thinking about all the things, so you spend about 3 days to come down. Then you
Right.
have about 4 or 5 days where you're just like, "Okay, I'm sleep."
Right, right.
And then it's time and then you're anxious the next 3 days because you gotta go back.
You gotta go back and you gotta catch up and you're anxious even before you go back, that anticipatory
Yes.
stress, right? And you're like, "Oh, man, like, God, I'm gonna have so much stuff to do when I get there." I was listening to a morning radio show the other day, and they mentioned that in 2025, what the data is showing that folks, they take PTO. What are they the number one thing they do on their PTO
Yeah.
is sleep. They take it off
Like,
to
to
sleep,
sleep,
to
to
sleep,
catch up on sleep.
catch up on sleep, right, exactly, to catch up on sleep because they're so burnt out, and so, it's an epidemic that doesn't seem to be, lessening, which is
Right.
another thing that sort of propelled me into this idea of, connecting it with the environment and connecting our work and our ability to be renewable with the greater good. Like, so if I'm not good and I'm not well, then
Mm-hmm.
I can only give so much.
Right.
And not just to the clients I serve, but I can only give so much to my kids, my
And
husband,
mm-hmm.
friends, and that's actually one of the I talk about that in the book, and that's one of the other things you mentioned, turning points. One of the other realizations that I had, that I was
Yeah.
really shortchanging my family,
Mm-hmm.
for a while, because had been operating from, a deep place of depletion. So it's not
Yeah.
just about your work and what you do. I mean, maybe you care about it, maybe you don't, care about your company or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's everything. It's how you show up, period,
It
for the
really
people
is.
who need you. So it's critical. And then, of course, if you want to make massive impact and you want to, drive change, and you want to actually, create a movement,
Mm-hmm.
something big, I mean, please forget about it. Like, if you're not doing
No,
what you need to do for yourself, then it's going to be very, very, very hard to do that.
it really will. I mean, and also you don't want to be a hypocrite.
And you don't wanna be a hypocrite. I mean, you're in this care.
Yes.
We have to do the work, right? No.
Yes. And yes, I mean, and also I know there have been times where I literally have been behind the mic and I know I have been like on E
Yeah.
behind the mic and just been like, oh, why am I pushing myself? Why? And I shared this one time before on the podcast where Melanie, my coach, had said to me, I know, I love her. I said, she told me one time, you do not have to build the same oppressive system in your business
Love that. Oh, she's so good. I love
that
that.
you are used to working in. You're right.
So true.
I don't. I do not
That's
have to
so
do
true.
that. Why am I doing that? I mean, I'm doing it. I knew why I was doing it because this is what I'm used to
It's
doing.
what you knew. Yeah.
I'm used to pushing through. I'm used to, if I get a tiny bit of energy, I might as well use it
Right.
instead of allowing it to recirculate and replenish and multiply.
Yeah.
Soon as
Yeah.
it comes, what can I go do with it?
Right.
So
Right.
much,
And
so
it's a
much.
journey. It's a journey.
Yes.
I mean, please do not think that I have it all
Arrived.
arrived. It's funny because there's one of the pillars in my book is reclaim. So that one's the around the mindset, and that's
Mhm.
one that's a constant. I call it the mama daddy of the pillars, because it's literally is the pillar that if you followed all of the other ones and you don't have that, then it's not gonna,
Mm.
like, your how you reframe things and your mindset matters, period. Like,
Yes.
and everything. But I say that to say, for me, doing this work and this journey of creating this work was definitely a mindset trip, because I'm like, every now and then I'd be like, who am I to, like,
Listen.
I know these things, and to impart this wisdom when I'm sitting
Yes.
struggling with my own energy. It definitely, play tricks on me, and your mind will do that to prevent
Oh,
you, doing the thing
Kaylee, it
scary.
will. I ordered this standing banner for the retreat, and I ordered this standing banner, and it's one of these really tall ones that stands by itself. You see them at conferences, and I did not look at the measurements. I will say that. And so I'm pulling it out, and I see my face. Huge. It's like half the thing. And I'm just like, I literally started, the bigger it got, the more I would shrank into myself. And so my cousin was here, my husband, and I'm looking at them like, what the heck is this? Who am I? Am I Oprah or something? Like, why am I doing this?
Right. What are people gonna say? I mean, that's one.
Yes.
Like, what are people gonna say? Like,
Like,
that
is
I
she doing too much?
right, she
And
doing too
that's it, just flooded me. Like, why did you just do that? But that's
right.
how much your mind will play tricks on you. And you, first of all, they started pouring into me, and then I started reframing for myself. Girl, you've been
Wonderful.
doing this work. You are positioned to be right where you are. Like, this is a testament of what you're here to give. Like, you better continue to invest in yourself. This is not like, I had to just start to
Yeah.
say all the things because, when you are depleted, it is so much easier for you
Yes.
to believe the
Yes.
thoughts that come to your mind. That reframe goes out the door when you are
Door.
depleted.
Out the door. Because you're like, I'm having these thoughts of, they're protecting me. They really are. They're trying to protect you, right? They're trying
Yes.
to like, oh no, don't go out and embarrass yourself. And like, you don't have to
Yes.
do that. Like, and they'll say
Yep.
things like, we know that you're good. You don't need to like
Yes.
show, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But, and when you're depleted, you just are like, you surrender and you're like, okay, yeah, you're right.
You're
Okay.
right.
I'm not
You're
going to do
right. Imma leave this banner right here in the dining room. I'm not taking that out of here.
not doing it. I'm not taking it out.
I'm
Yeah.
not. One thing that I do tell my clients, we do visualizations during the therapy session.
Mhm.
And so we talk about the brain trying to protect you
Mm, mm.
by telling you these things. Like the brain, I'll ask, how is that helpful to you to have those thoughts? And they'll say, well, it's not helpful. Well, actually, it is. The brain is actually trying to protect you from something. And we go through a visualization where we thank the brain for what it is doing, thank it for its protection, and then we offer it an opportunity to stand down, stand
Yes.
down. We're okay, we got it. And then we think of the proof. I have
Mhm.
proof to show you that I can take care of myself, that I'm going to be okay, that this is going to
Absolutely.
work out. And even if it doesn't, I'll bounce back. Like, we have to do those, like, learn those tools and those skills and habits. It seems people think that we should just be able to go about the world without doing those things,
No,
but it's not true. We're
no.
we're attacked all day, every day, and mostly by ourselves.
That's what I was gonna say, and by our own thoughts, right? Like you said, it's protective, right? It's trying to be protective, and we tend to think, "I had a thought come into my head, and so that thought must be true,"
Yeah.
right? And it's been the thought that's been in my head for many, many years, so of course it must be true, and I can point to so much evidence in my life
Yes.
firm that it's true, so I'm gonna believe it.
Yes.
And that's it's just not the case. But often because it's so close to us, it's not someone outside of us or something outside of us that's kind of doing that damage. Because it's
Mhm.
close to us, it often takes, or it's really helpful to have a therapist or to have a coach
Mhm.
walking alongside you to help you do the reframe.
Yes.
And that's the one I would say it really, really is how unless you have like a good friend who's objective and not just, your cheerleader. It's great to have a
Mhm.
bestie who's like gonna ride or die, we all need
Right.
but it's also helpful to have someone who's objective and who's honest and you trust.
Yes.
Sometimes that's hard to do because people love you and they wanna support you and they don't wanna say anything negative that
Mhm.
might hurt your feelings. So it's helpful to have, a professional.
Yes. Who was just gonna say the thing. If someone only remembers one idea from Renewable You, what do you hope it is?
This is what I hope they come away with by the end of it. I hope they come away with the idea that it doesn't take a lot. So I do present a framework, a 5-pillar framework of things that you can do to stay renewable. In the third part of the book, though, I present how to integrate these practices in your life. And there's one piece in particular that I wish, I can't remember if I, made it a pull quote or highlighted it or whatever, but it's that you don't need 100% integration, 100% perfection of any of these tools. In fact, I mean, if you have a good 60% of them down
Yeah.
in your day, you're absolutely fine. You will be absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Like, it doesn't take perfection. It doesn't
Mhm.
take, doing it absolutely to a T.
Yeah.
Have changes, to have measurable changes in your life. So I would just like for folks, before you even go into reading the book, because you're going to read it and I don't know, depending on what level of depletion you're in, it may feel
Mhm.
like a lot, it may feel overwhelming, or it may not. But if it does feel overwhelming, I will say start with the idea that it doesn't take a lot. It just
Yep.
takes little small steps on, each of the areas to
Mm-hmm.
to really feel better.
Yes. Yes. One brave thing. One brave thing is all it takes. Your one brave thing might be just doing one small micro step, micro act that you found in the book that feels like your lowest hanging fruit. Pick that and you integrate that into your day. And then you celebrate that you did it. And then you do it over and over and over and over again.
That's right. That's all.
That's all. That's all. One thing that I took from the book, it was like a big banner and it was I won't curse on my own podcast, but it was very much so, girl, your energy is not renewable. Stop, you know. It was a really great reminder like I'm not renewable. Like there is an end. And sometimes it's hard to forget when you are blessed with beginnings and the opportunity to keep going and keep going and be renewed and keep going. So it was a great reminder that, listen, you should be renewed as you pour out into the world, pour out into yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So I ask all of my guests, what does bravery mean to you? And what has been your one brave thing this week?
What does bravery mean to me? Yeah, bravery means stepping out. For me, it means stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy not to, so easy not to. But on the one hand, it's easy not to. For some of us, when we know we need to,
Yes.
it's hard not to also because you have that nagging and it's like, oh God, I have to do it. But it does take courage to
Mm-hmm.
actually do it. So I would say for me, stepping outside of your comfort zone is absolutely brave. And I guess it goes along with my one brave you asked me what I did
Yes.
this week. So this week I was the first installment of my live series. I had a
Yeah.
3-day live series that I delivered. And, it's one of those things that I mean, my God, I wrote the book, right? Like I wrote a book about it and I've been talking to people about the framework and for months and months and months
Mm-hmm.
and months. But this was the first time where I went live, actually teaching the methods to folks and invite
Yes.
to and to listen. So
Yes.
that was kind of nerve-wracking, but
You did it. You did it. You did it anyway, and you did it bravely. All right. So, where should people go to connect with you, to join your community, follow your work?
yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn. If anyone wants to reach out, Kaylee Fields Williams, you can just send me a DM, but be personal because I don't really check them because I get so many of them. So tell me where you got my name and heard me, and then I will absolutely reach out and respond. I am also delivering our first 6-week Renewable You beta series course. And it's going to be starting October and
Mm-hmm.
going through December,
Okay.
which will walk folks through every pillar that's in the book once a week.
That.
And it'll be like a personalized journey to the renewable you just in time for the new year.
All right, Kaylee. So, where should people go to connect with you, join your community, or follow your work?
Yes. So you can always reach out to me at kaylee@theearthyexecutive.com or LinkedIn. Send me a DM there and let me know. Just make sure you let me know like where you heard me and that you heard me on the podcast. Samantha is also going to be sharing some information about an upcoming live course that I'm offering starting October 28th. It's 6 weeks to the renewable you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be a course walking through each of the pillars, and you'll be in a renewable state of mind just in time for the beginning of the year. And then I think you'll also share information about a community that we're starting also, which I'll be in there a couple times a week giving live courses, and there'll be other like-minded folks in there for you to chat with and share your renewable journey with.
Absolutely. I will be putting everything in the show notes. All right, y'all. So, we end every Brown Heart Wellness podcast with a mindful moment. So, let's get seated. After some tech issues, I think I could use a little bit of a breath. Goodness. All right, so finding your feet, finding your seat. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, doing so. Y'all already know if you're driving, don't do it. Noticing your breath. Maybe your chest is rising and falling. Maybe this is the first time you've noticed your breath all day. If that's the case, give your breath a little thank you for showing up. It might be the only thing you didn't have to tell what to do today. There's a lot of gratitude to be had in that. On your next inhale, inhale through the nose for a count of 4, holding gently for another count of 4. Exhale through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take one more in for 4. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice a place in your body that feels maybe even 1% softer, more relaxed, more renewed. Letting this affirmation and intention settle in your body. I am worthy of renewable energy. I am worthy of being in spaces that renew my energy. Being in relationships that renew my energy. I am worthy of a professional path that renews my energy. I am worthy of a me that renews my energy. Coming back to your breath. When you're ready, open your eyes. May you move forward with ease and brave alignment. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode of the Brown Heart Wellness Podcast. I have so much to share. I will add it all in the show notes. The Brown Heart Wellness community is also starting our own Brown Heart Wellness community. So many great communities to be a part of, grow. We will be probably sharing so much from each of these communities with each other, which I absolutely love. But I will share more of that in the show notes, and I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye. All right, Katie, let me see. Let me stop.